Hi, how's it going, everyone? Hope you're all keeping well. I'm just going to give it a few minutes for some more people to get into the stream. So today we're going to be making a dodge game. I'll just show you the one that I've made earlier. So we have a character which follows around our mouse, and this could be bad. Oh no, oh come on, alright, nearly. And the game gets harder the longer that we play it. The character, the enemies, the ghosts that we're trying to avoid get faster. And one thing that I haven't done in this version yet is I haven't made it so that there are more ghosts as the game goes longer. But that's something that we might get time for this session. And if you get touched by the ghosts, you die. Well, so that's what we'll be working on today. Ah, nice to see you, Quentin. Nice to see you, Anna. Hope you're both keeping well. So I've made some, I don't know if anyone was here yesterday, but I'm hoping that the audio levels are a bit better. I've tweaked those in OBS. Hopefully it's not quite so distorted as it was yesterday. Hi Amy, how's it going? Lovely to see you. So what I'm planning on doing for the first few of these is having all of the sessions be hello Falcon Fab Lab, lovely to have you back. I'm hoping to have each session be self-contained so that people can tune in at any time and they're not worried that they've missed out on the last session and that this is a part 2 or something like that. But I did get an email from, I believe it was Matt, who was asking to do some more work on the Endless Runner that we did yesterday, to add in spikes and coins. I'd really love to do that, and we'll definitely get to that, but probably not just yet. Oh good, I'm glad the sound's good. I'm glad the sound's okay. So yeah, in the future, I'd really love to do some part 1, part 2, part 3 type sessions where we can build up to a more complicated project. But for now, I want this to be really accessible. I want it so that people can join in at any time, especially because we're still trying to get the word out. So by all means, by the way, if you know other people who are into computer coding in Scratch and making video games, share this YouTube channel with them so we can get some more people on board, because it'll be great fun once we have like a nice little group of people that we're all working together on projects. That'll be really nice. Alright, so the other thing that I've done with the stream to improve it is I've got my my video cam stream is just out of the way of where you can see my mouse is here. There's important stuff in Scratch that I realized you couldn't see yesterday. So for the benefit of anyone who hasn't used Scratch before, what you do to get to Scratch is a free way of doing computer coding. So let's say you start off here where I am in Google. Do a Google search for Scratch, and you should get, in fact, if I just do the Google search here, Scratch, the first one that you've got, Scratch Imagine Program Share, where my mouse is now, that's what we want. So you click on that. That will take you to where you need to be to do some Scratch coding. Hey, how's it going, Matt? Lovely to have you back. So, because I know that we've got a few new ninjas today, I've shown you how to get to Scratch. You just go to Google, type in Scratch, it's the first entry. This is a free piece of coding software made by MIT in America. That's completely non-profit, completely safe. And then after we get here, we're going to do Create to start a new project. So we'll dive into our game. Hopefully we've got most people here for the CoderDojo. There were a few people yesterday who said, oh, I arrived a bit late and then I didn't know where we were up to. So I want to make sure that doesn't happen. So yeah, I suppose that's an idea. We could have a think about maybe something to do at the beginning of the streams while we're waiting for people to come in. Right, you were watching on Monday but you weren't able to log in. But you're here and you're logged in now, so that's really nice. That's excellent, Matt. Okay, so we've created our new Scratch project. We've got it up here, and as I said before, if you have 2 monitors at home, try and have this video on one of your monitors and then your Scratch on the other monitor. You might, depending on how big your monitor is, be able to like put them in windows and have like one on one side and one on the other. Hello, Preeti. How have you been keeping? Oh, it's AD. AD, good to see you, AD. AD is one of the ninjas who comes to our CoderDojos in the library. Excellent. Good to have you. All right. So yeah, if you can, try and have the stream happening on one screen. So if you have like an iPad or something, or another laptop that you can have propped up, so you can have the stream on one thing, on one screen, and then you can have your Scratch project on the other. And that will be, if that's possible for you. If it's not, then you just do whatever you need to do. But if that's possible, that'll make it a bit easier, so you can follow along with what I'm doing, and you can work on your own Scratch project. So we're going to make a dodging Scratch game today. So what we need to do first of all is we need to make our sprites. So if you want to delete a sprite, as before, you press this trash can here to delete the sprite. And if you want to create a new sprite, and this is something that you couldn't see yesterday, you hover over here, and I'm just going to choose some sprites today. And I'm just going to choose a sprite by clicking. You can click on either the cat face or the magnifying glass, and both of them work the same way. Alright, so who's going to be our main character today? Let's go with Giga. I'm feeling Giga today. Nice and round. Oh, you're excited? Very good, very good. Alright. So this is going to be our main character, so I'm going to call it a player. It's important to name your sprites, to name everything, stuff that makes sense. So now we need the villain. What's the thing that we're trying to dodge? What's our enemy here? So let's choose another sprite. And I like ghosts. Alright, so we've got our player and we've got our ghost. They're both a bit too big. So to start off with, we can very easily change the size by going here to where it says 100. And we can change this. Let's try 40. Yeah, that looks pretty small, but trust me, that's a good size. And then we'll go to the ghost, and we'll set that to 40 as well. There, that seems good for now. Alright. So what we'll do now is we'll code our player. So what we're going to do is we're going to have the player follow the mouse around. So making sure that the player is selected over here on the right side. Yep, you can see that, that's good. We're going to go to events. We're going to grab when green flag clicked. When green flag clicked is what happens when the game starts, and we want this to happen from the very beginning. And then what we need to do is we need to go and get a forever loop. We're going to put that right here, and we're going to go to motion, and there's a really nice easy way we can get our player to follow our mouse around. We're going to get this here where it says go to random position, and we're going to click on the little white triangle and select go to mouse pointer. Okay, so let's see if that works. Let's hit go. Alright, got ourselves a character that follows us around now. That's good. Alright, so now what we'll do is we'll create a score system to keep track of how far along in the game we are. Aha! What size are the sprites? Let's try 40. 40 for the player and 40 for the ghost. And we can change that if we want. Alright. So, what we're going to do now is we're going to go and grab another when the green flag clicked. Ah, yeah, very good, Matt. Thanks very much. And after that, what we're going to do is we're going to get another forever block. And we're going to create ourselves a variable. Variable is exactly what we'll need to keep track of a score. So to make a variable, you go across to the left-hand side along here. You look for the orange button where it says variables. You click on make a variable. This screen is what's going to come up next, and you need to make sure that for all sprites is selected. It needs to be for all sprites. We're going to call this score. Okay. And what we're going to do is we're going to do two things. First, above the forever, we need to make sure that the score always goes back to 0 when we start a new game. So when green flag clicked, set, and then this needs to be score to 0. And then we need to change. We need to forever change score. So we select this white triangle here to select which variable we're changing by 1. And then we need a wait. Wait 1 second. And if we hit go, that should just count up just nicely there. Nice and easy. And if we stop and start again, it should again start from 0. In fact, one thing I'm just going to do, take this wait and move it above the change. So now, when you start the game, it starts at 0 and then moves to 1, instead of immediately starting at 0, immediately jumping to 1. So yeah, do it this way around. So this is the code you should have here. Set score to 0, forever wait 1 second, change score by 1. Okay, there we go. Now let's create the code to control our ghosts. Let's make it so that we can die. Okay, so we go into our ghost sprite here. We're going to get this when green flag clicked to be here. We're going to grab a forever loop, and we're going to make a clone of the ghost. So to start off with, let's do something very simple. We're just going to say go to random position, and we're going to go to control and get create clone of myself. So this piece of code here, what we need, make it a bit easier to see. So when the green flag clicked, forever go to random position, then create clone of myself. So I was mentioning this yesterday. This ghost is going to be like the unseen factory that makes all of the other ghosts. This ghost itself is not the one that the player will have to be avoiding. It's all the babies that it makes, all the clones. So we're going to be making lots of clones. We need to put in a weight. So we go to Control, grab the weight, and put it in there. So now, let's see what that does. Okay, it's making clones all over the place. Alright, it's a good place to start. Now let's make the clones go towards the player when they are created. So what we need to do is we need to, in Control, scroll down a bit and look for this. When I start as clone. So these are the instructions when a clone is first born from the mothership ghost. This is what its instructions are. We want the clone, so we go up to motion. We're going to get point towards. We're going to point to, and we're going to click on the white triangle here. Point towards the player. And then we're going to just say, for now we're just going to say forever. And we're going to go back to motion and grab a move 10 steps. Alright, so you've got Scratch 2 and it doesn't have the go to random block. Alright, don't worry, because we're actually going to get rid of this go to random block in a second, AD. So hold tight and we're going to fix that, no problems. Let's do a quick test of this. Make sure you put in the rest of the code though, AD, because we'll need it. So now what should happen is all these ghosts are being created and they're coming towards the player. So that's good. They're moving a little fast. So let's take where it says move 10 steps. And let's change it to move 1 step. Okay. It's a bit slower, but that's fine. Alright, so let's get rid of our go to random position and let's put in something much better. I'm going to zoom out just a little bit. Put that across there. So I'm going to grab this create clone, take this random position, I'm going to get rid of it. So what we need to do is we need to make it so that the ghosts are not spawning in the middle of the screen, because how can we avoid them if that happens, right? We need to make it so that the ghosts are spawning on the outside of the screen. So if you watch my mouse, you can just see we need it to go only on the edges. So to do this, to get it so that they spawn in a different spot on one of the edges of the screen, we've actually got to create a random number. We need to use a little bit of chaos. So let's grab a pick random. Let's make a new variable. We're going to go to variables. We're going to go to make a variable. This needs to be for all sprites. And we're going to call this ghost spawn direction. Okay. So just call these variables what I'm calling them, so you can follow along. I know the temptation is to right click on the code area, select clean up block from the drop down menu that appears. I'll just spread it out myself for the time being. Now, one thing I forgot to mention is there's about a 20-second delay between me streaming something and you receiving it. So there's going to be like a bit of a gap. Every time you say something, it's going to look like I get it like 20 seconds later. What's actually happened is I've received it on time. I say it, but then the stream is on this 20-second delay. So yeah, so there'll be a bit of that. But we should still be able to collaborate, figure stuff out together. Okay, so we need to set ghost spawn direction to a random number. We're going to pick random 1 to 4 because there are 4 different edges that we are going to spawn ghosts from. Okay, so pick random 1 to 4. Now you've probably had a little bit of experience with coordinates. So everywhere here on the scratch, on the game screen, this game screen here has a coordinate. The X coordinate is how far to the left and the right that each section of this game is, each particular pixel, and the Y coordinate is how far up and down everything is. And you can see the coordinates here. So if I move this ghost around, you can see these numbers change. So if I put the ghost more or less in the middle, the numbers are fairly close to 0 and 0. If I move the ghost up to the top, the Y becomes really high, 154. If I move the ghost really low, the Y becomes really low, minus 157. If I move it all the way to the left, the X becomes really low, minus 125. And if I move it all the way to the right, it becomes higher, 225. I am very tempted to use Twitch AD, but it doesn't actually make a difference. It's more to do with, oh, the cat has arrived, just like yesterday. He's a bit of an attention seeker. He wants to be part of the stream. So even if we use Twitch, we'd probably still have a delay. And I could reduce the delay, but then we'd also reduce the quality of our stream. Okay. So we've got to set our ghost spawn direction to pick a random number, 1, 2, 3, or 4. Okay? Now, I'm going to just say that 1 is the top edge, 2 is the right edge, 3 is the bottom edge, and 4 is the left edge. Okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to create 2 new variables. So we're going to make variable ghost spawn X, and we're going to create a new variable, and again all of these are for all sprites, ghost spawn Y. Okay. Aha, you've got cats as well, Matt. Very nice. All right. So we've got our new variables. We've made ghost spawn direction, we've made ghost spawn X, and we've made ghost spawn Y. So what we need to do is we need to create an if statement. So to do that, we come down to control, we grab an if then. We'll put it here for the time being, and we'll grab this here. So if something equals something. Currently it says 50, but we're going to change that. So Then what we're going to do is we're going to go back to our variables section. We're going to grab if ghost spawn direction equals 1, and then we're going to grab set ghost spawn x, and we need a little bit more chaos, so we're going to grab another random number, pick random, and put it into this little circular hole here. Ah yes, cat emoji. I have 2 cats, so they might randomly gate crash the screen at random times. Hopefully not too often. So remember how coordinates work. If we want a line of random coordinates that's along the top edge of the screen, like where my mouse is now, then the y is always like 180. Like it's got to be a high number. So let's do that part first. Let's set ghost spawn y to 180. Then the ghost spawn x could be all the way to the left or all the way to the right. So let's pick a random number between minus 240 and 240. So these numbers are like the very edge of the screen. We could also try and spawn things slightly off the screen. So we could make these numbers a little bit larger if we wanted. So we could go, for example, pick random minus 250 to 250. Okay, so this piece of code here, if the ghost spawn direction comes up as option number 1, it will set the ghost spawn x to a random number between minus 240 and 240, and it will set the y to 180. So it will be this line up here. Okay? So what we need to do is we need to duplicate this whole code 3 times, because we have 4 different directions. Let's zoom. Let's go down a little bit. Okay. So we need each of these to be a different one of the ghost spawn direction numbers. So you can see one is if ghost spawn direction equals 1. The other is if ghost spawn direction equals 2. The third one is if ghost spawn direction equals 3. Ha! So many cats. And the other is if ghost spawn direction equals 4. So we need to think about what the other lines are. So my line is if ghost spawn direction 1 is this edge up here. We've done that. Let's think about ghost spawn direction 3, which I'm going to make this edge here. So the ghost spawn x random is fine. That's all the way from the left to all the way to the right. But this one, ghost spawn y equals 180. Let's make that minus 180. Now let's look at ghost spawn direction 2, which is going to be my right edge. So the x value is always going to be all the way across to the right. So that needs to be 240. And well, we need that. We need another pick random. So that's always, so the x is always going to be 240 all the way to the right. But the y is going to be all the way to the top to all the way to the bottom. So let's get another pick random, and let's make that minus 180 all the way to 180. Okay, and we want to do roughly the same thing for ghost spawn direction 4. take out this pick random, we want the x to always be minus 240, this straight line on the left side here. And we want the y to be the same. We want it to be minus 180 all the way to 180. Okay, so then we want to create a clone of myself. We grab this piece of code, we stick it on the bottom, we want to wait 1 second. And all of this is going to go inside this forever loop. Zoom out a little. Okay, so when the green flag clicked, forever, set ghost spawn direction to a random number, and the random number is going to be 1, 2, 3, or 4. If that random number is 1, we make the ghost up here along this edge. If it's 2, we make it here, this edge. If it's 3, we make it here, this edge. If it's 4, we make it here, this edge. We create a clone, and then we wait until we make the next clone. Let's see if that works. Not working. You know why? It's because we haven't told it to go anywhere yet. So, after all of this, setting the ghost spawn x and ghost spawn y using variables, we need a very simple piece of code. This line here. We go to motion, we get go to x and y, we put that right there, and we go to variables, we get ghost spawn x, we put it right in that round hole for the ghost spawn x, and we get the ghost spawn y, and we put it right in that hole for the ghost spawn y. Now let's see if this works. There we go. So now it's creating ghosts. Now, at this point, we can make them a little bit faster. Also, we currently don't die when we touch them. Also, these ghosts never die. Because can you see they're just collecting along the edges, along here? So, if we keep making clones, eventually Scratch will refuse to make any more clones. It tops out at like, I think, 300 clones. It won't make any more than that. So let's fix that. Let's first make it so that our player dies when we touch the ghost. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to ask a question, and we're going to ask it in the player. So we're going to go back to the player sprite here. So we should have just 2 bits of code, the score code and the code that makes the player follow the mouse pointer around. And in this piece of code here, we're going to get an if-then statement. So we need to go to control, grab an if-then, we need to get a sensing, and we need to ask the question. We need to get a touching, and then we need to set the touching to ghost. So if touching ghost, then, and for now, we'll just say hide. The player will disappear if they touch the ghost. So if we make the player disappear when they touch the ghost, we've got to make sure when we start a new game that they come back. So we're going to grab a show from looks and put it right above the forever. Alright, everyone following me so far? If you're struggling, if there's anything that's not working, type in the comments and I shall answer it on a slight delay, but I will answer it. Okay, so let's see if that works, shall we? Let's hit go. Oh, let's try that again. Go. So far this game is a little easy in my opinion. But if I touch a ghost, there we go. We die. We disappear at least. Okay, so there's one more thing that we need to do. When we start the game, you'll notice you can see the sprite that creates all the clones, the original ghost. You can actually see it moving around along the edges and appearing and then making a clone of itself. So let's fix that. Let's go back to the ghost sprite. Let's get a hide and put it right here. So when the game starts, it hides the original ghost who's going to be making clones of itself. Now, if we hide the original ghost and the ghost makes clones, will those ghosts be hidden? You can scream it at your monitors. Trust me, I can hear you. I can't hear you. You can write it in chat though. And the answer is yes, they will be hidden as well. So what do we need to do? You can write that in chat as well. Yes, we need to show when I start as clone. Right here. When the clone is created, it needs to show itself because the original was hidden and it's a clone of the original. Okay. So now we can't see the original ghost. But these ghosts still don't die. So what we need to do is we need to create yes. Because I'm working on a delay, I'm just seeing your answers come through for those questions that I asked. So that's good. All right. So we need to make a way for the ghost to die. So what we're going to do is, so remember we had this forever. We're actually going to take this forever and we're going to throw it away. We're going to use something different than a forever. We're going to use a repeat until. That's going to be in control. So we come up to the control section. We grab a repeat until, and it looks very similar to a forever loop, but it's got this space here, and inside that we're going to ask touching. That's it. We're going to go to sensing here, the light blue one. We're going to put it a touching edge, and what's it going to repeat until it's touching the edge? It's going to be move, and it was set to 1 step before. Let's set it to 2 steps this time. So let's try that. And oh wait, first we need to have something that happens at the end of this. So repeat until means that once it actually gets to the until, it does something else. We are going to go to control and delete the clone. So forever loops are useful, but you've got to be careful because if you have more and more forever loops in various parts of your game, then it will start to slow your game down, especially if they no longer need to be running. So repeat untils are actually better than forever loops in certain cases. So let's run this. Now there's going to be a problem when we run this. I already know. What do you think the problem's going to be? Write it in the chat. All right, ready to test it? Let's test it. Do you see any ghosts? I don't see any ghosts. Why? It's because they are already touching the edge when they are made. So what we need to do is we need to make sure that they first move past the edge that they start on. so that when they, we just need to get them over that little section first. So what we need to do is we need to put in something before this repeat until. Can I move this along? There we go. So we need to, let's get a repeat. Yes, very good, Matt. All right, so let's get a move 2 steps as well. So now what's going to happen is when they start as clone, first they show themselves, then they point towards the player, then they repeat this 10 times, move 10 2 steps. And then after that, they will repeat this until they are touching an edge, move 10 steps, and after they touch an edge, they will delete themselves. They will die. Let's see if that works. Okay, that seems pretty good. A few of them are still dying a little too soon, so let's make this repeat 15. And you'll always have some of them, they're still not quite getting over it, so let's go repeat 20 times. Okay. Looks like they managed to get past that initial... okay, made it. Okay. So, if anyone's struggling, let me know with any of the code. Otherwise, let's go to variables and let's untick some of these variables so that we've got a bit more space on our screen. Those variables are still there, but we don't need the player to see them. Alright, so we've got it basically working now. If we touch a ghost, then we go invisible. If we and the ghosts are spawning from all the different sides. So that's all very good. So now let's try something interesting. So what we're going to do is we're going to make it so that the game gets harder the longer that we play it. We're going to... So we've got our move 2 steps here. And we've already got something that conveniently keeps track of how long the game's been going for. It's our score variable. So let's get a piece of code. Let's get a plus. Oh, you'd like a backdrop, Matt? Yep, no problems, we can do that. Yes, currently it's just a very boring white backdrop, but we can fix that. Okay. So, what we'll do is we'll grab one of these. Something plus something. And let's try this, and you tell me what you think is going to happen. We'll take this, we'll put it here, we'll say we'll move 2 steps plus score number of steps. Okay, let me know in the chat. What do you think is going to happen? Do you think it's going to be too easy, too hard? Is their speed going to go up a little too quickly, or is it not going to go quickly enough? All right, let's test it. And oh my goodness, they are already going very quickly. Too fast. They're going too fast. So what we need to do is we need to make our score a smaller number at all times. So you've been doing in school presumably some maths involving like fractions, numbers that are smaller than 1, right? maybe decimals as well. We're going to make our score a much smaller number by using divide. Yes, quite right, you're both right. So we need to make our score a much smaller number. So we're going to grab our score here. We're going to grab a divide, so something divided by something, again from operators. I'm going to grab the score and let's divide it by 100. Gotta go fast. All of these ghosts are going to be like Sonic the Hedgehog. Sonic. Alright, so now that we've got this, the score is going to be divided by 100. So it's going to be, so if we're on a score of 1, it's going to be it's going to be 0.01. Once we get to a score of 200, then it gets a bit faster. It's going to be moving at twice speed. So let's try that. Alright, AD, you just got to be careful with your language. You can't be saying that in the chat. I've hidden the comment. Alright, so let's try this. So that's a lot more reasonable. Yeah, that's pretty good. Now, if we wanted them to speed up a little faster than this, then what number would we change? And how would we change it? Every time I'm looking in this direction, by the way, I'm looking at the chat. I'm looking at the chat. So this 100 here, if you make it a smaller number, then the sort of difficulty will increase faster. Their speed will increase faster. Okay, so we're going to have we're going to probably finish up with our coding in like 10 minutes. And after that, probably just hang around and maybe you guys can publish your version of the game and I can have a bit of a play of them. That'd be kind of cool. And we can just chat for a bit as well, talk about what projects we'd like to do in the future. So, Matt was asking us to change the background. Let's do that now. Let's go to the bottom right corner. We're going to choose a backdrop. I'm going to choose Spooky Castle 3. Yes, quite right, AD. Yes, you've got to change the divide number. Okay. So, what we need to do now, we've got our backdrop sorted. We've got our game working. I think that what I would like to do is also make it so that the ghosts spawn faster as the score goes up. So the ghosts, their spawning happens here in this section of code here. And it happens right on this line here. And it happens every 1 second. That's a brilliant idea, Matt. You can make a studio. Alright, let's do that in 10 minutes time, once we're finished with our coding and we're just sort of hanging out for a while. Okay. So, what we're going to do is we're going to add in a very similar piece of code to this wait 1 seconds, just so that they spawn faster. So if we want them to spawn faster, this number needs to get smaller. So I'm going to do what I did before. I'm going to take the score and divide it by 100. Okay. So we've got our score divided by 100. We're going to take our minus, so a number minus another number. We're going to wait, it was 1 second before, wasn't it? So let's put 1 second, but minus score divided by 100. Now, this eventually will become impossible. But that's kind of, it'll be interesting to see what the highest score can we devise doing it this way. So now, as the ghosts are spawning, and as the score goes up, they should both move faster, but also spawn more regularly. Oh. That seems good. What I might do, if I don't want to wait around to see what it's like, we could create a cheat code to make it so that I can artificially make the score go up. So it's kind of a negative cheat code, getting sort of the game to work to be harder before it should be. Uh-oh. Well, things are definitely starting to get a little bit harder. Okay. Yeah, let's make this cheat code so we can see what it's like a bit faster than this. Alright, let's do something very simple. We go to events, when space key pressed, change score by 10. Alright, now that we've got our reverse cheat code to make the game much harder than it should be, let's open this up. Oh no! Too much score! Okay, let's try that again. Oh, that's going up by much more than I expected it to. And space key press change score by 10, it went up by like 100 that last time. That's very strange. Well, never mind. It might be that it's registering... oh, no, never mind. Well, either way, we've seen that it gets pretty hard, around about 100. Absolutely, Falcon Fab Lab. You can see the player code. In fact, what I'll do is I'll publish this now. Let's publish this as Dodge Game. So let's go Livestream to Dodge Game. I'm going to share this and copy paste. There we go. We should be able to get to see all the code now. Yeah, there we go. All right. And the player code is here. Okay, so we've got 5 minutes left. let's do one more thing, because there's two very simple glitches that I'd like to fix. One is when we die, the score keeps going. So let's stop that from happening. So you can do something very simple to fix that. We can grab this stop here and click on where it says all, and then say other scripts in Sprite, and we put that right underneath the hide. So right here in the player code, if touching ghost, then hide, and then stop other scripts in Sprite. So all the other scripts that are in this Sprite, of which we have only one right here, will stop. And this is the code that keeps our score going. That's fine, AD. You don't have to upload. Just if you want to, you can. Okay. You can use if you want, after the stream, if the problem is that you can't stream as well as use the online Scratch, then what you can do is after the stream, go to Google, type in Scratch, sign up for an account, or if you already have one, just log in with that, and then you can upload your saved Scratch file, and then you can share it with us in the comments of the YouTube video. And yeah, in a few minutes, we'll set up our studio so we can all share our Scratch projects. Okay. So, there's one other glitch I'd like to fix. I've got a very bad habit, the other thing as well, I've got a very bad habit of looking here when I'm trying to look at you, because that's where the chat is, and I have to remember to look into the camera. No, I'm not getting used to this. Alright, so, one other glitch I want to fix is the ghosts. They kind of appear upside down depending which direction they're looking. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Motion, and I'm going to set rotation style right here underneath when the green flag clicked to left-right rotation. So there we go. All the ghosts are looking a little bit less upside down now. Okay, so there's our completed game. If we had more time, or if you want to keep working on this in your own time, here are the things that see if you can add to your games. A high score, and how about getting the ghosts to animate as they move? They already have, if you're using the same ghost sprite as me, they already have multiple costumes. You might be able to figure out a way to make them animate. The other things that we could do is we could have additional enemies that home in on the player a bit more, that check partway through to see if they're still facing the player, and if not, they change direction to follow the player. We could have enemies that start off really small and get bigger and bigger as the game goes on. As the game goes on, our player could get bigger, so it's harder to avoid the enemies. There's a lot of possibilities for what we could do with this game. We fixed all the main things. If you've made a high score before, I highly recommend making a high score in your game, so that we can all play it and see what's the highest score that we can get in each other's games. Okay, so I've published my game. Let's create a new studio. Let's call it the Futures Lab CoderDojo. Let's add 1 second. I need to I wonder. Yeah, that's all in. It didn't save the title. Livestream 2 Dodge game. File save now. And this is already shared. Good. Okay. Let's go to the profile. My studios. New project. Oh, no, that's not right. Back it up. My studios. Aha, gotta go in there. You can see I haven't done much creating studios yet. Add projects. Nice. Add this. And add this one. Alright, cool. So, if you want to friend me on the Scratch website, you can. This is my name, Palethorn. I believe you should just be able to search me up through that and you can friend me. And I have a few other games that are online as well that you can have a bit of a play of if you want. Feel free to remix my game projects if you like. We should have, and we'll do some work on this studio as well. I should be able to invite some people. Ah, yes. Profile. Alright, here's me, and the studio. Now, Matt, you might be able to tell me, can you join a studio, or do you need to be invited to it? Okay, we've got a follower. That should be fine. I'll just allow everyone to add games. If anyone adds, aha, Sonic Fries. Curators, invite curators. So you might need to follow me, and then I might be able to add you. So if you click on the Scratch user Palethorn, and follow me. Hey, got an extra follower here. Alright, let's invite. Scratch is following me. So we need Sonic Fries and Yo-Yell Cake. Let's search you guys up. Well, didn't find you. Oh, got some new messages. Cool Trish. Excellent. Sonic fries. Very nice. Alright, let's see if I can start adding you to the curators now. Add Sonic fries. Add Cool Trish. I think that worked. You might need to... Oh! Yo-Yo Cakes. I don't have permission. Already a curator. Okay. Already a creator. Curator. Go to curators, press trending in search. Well, it's added in Sonic Fries and it's added in Cool Trish. So that should be good. And I'll try one more time with Yo-Yo Cakes. Don't have permission. We can try that again later. So feel free to add in your own projects. Activity. There we go. Sonic Phrase. Accepted an invitation. That's good. Refresh. Hey, very nice. Got Sonic Fries there. Excellent. Well, Yo-Yo L Cake. Yo-Yo L Cake, is that right? Okay. So, there we go. Have a bit of a play with that. You should be able to see all the code that I've used. If you weren't here yesterday, feel free to check into yesterday on how to make an endless runner. This is about how long most of the streams from here on out will be going. I think yesterday's was a bit long, so I think this is a good amount of time, about an hour. And then we can hang out and play some games that we've all been working on. So I think I won't put anyone on the spot just yet. So next time we stream is going to be on Thursday at 3:30, and you can send me a game that you've made, and I will play it. We're working on the delay, but Matt has asked me to go back to the studio. Hey, well. Endless Runner Beta and Dodge Game. Alright, I'm going to play these. So, let's first do the Endless Runner. Alright. Let's make this big. Whoa. Huh? Very nice. I'm going to try and beat your high score. That's okay, Matt. You can tune in for the stream. I know you can't make Thursday, but I'll be doing this again on Monday and Tuesday. Let's see. So this is a game that we might come back to and do some more work on. Similar to what you could start doing. Oh, so close. What you could start doing is taking some of the code. Oh no! Oh, that high score. Missed it. So we have a similar glitch here where the score keeps going even though you've died. That's easily fixed if you use a stop other sprites in this script. We didn't quite get a chance to do that yesterday, so that's fine. But yeah, that could be, there's a lot of possibilities of using code from what we learned maybe today in the Ghost game, in the avoidance game, and use it in the endless runner, like maybe speeding things up the longer things go. All right. That's great. Well done, Matt. Let's play the Dodge game. So streaming days are every Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. 3:30 start. Oh. This is pretty good. I like the background you've chosen. Pretty smooth. Now, however long it takes me to die, we'll see if you guys can beat my... Oh no, I took my eyes off for a second. Alright, well, we'll see if you can beat my high score, shall we? Of 38. You probably can. That's okay. So, once this stream finishes going live, there's a bit of a delay while YouTube processes it, and then it's saved as a YouTube video. So you can go back to the YouTube video. The chat's still there, but you can also leave comments. You can comment your project, and you can comment what things you would like to see in the future. Say, oh, I'd really love to make this type of game, or I'd really like it if we could do this. Alrighty. Take care. We'll see you later, AD. Yeah, thank you guys for coming and hanging out and doing some coding with me. This was a lot of fun as always. I will see you again on Thursday at 3:30, and yeah, and every week, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, 3:30 from here on out. So stay safe, stay awesome, be cool, and we'll see you next time. And if you have any questions, anything goes wrong, leave a comment on the YouTube video, and oh, I'm going to say it again, aren't I? Like, share, and subscribe, and ring the bell. No, you don't have to if you don't want to. But if you subscribe to the YouTube channel and ring the bell, then it will tell you when the new live streams are coming up. And it will tell you as well if we're doing other things, not just CoderDojo. Alright. Take care, everyone.